Hey guys, Unicronobot here, coming at you with another video review, and today we are looking at the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Lazerback. Now, before anyone says anything, first let me just say this. The boxes for these Beast Hunters, I'm gonna say, is absolute garbage. It is complete garbage. There's nothing really special about the packaging. So before we look at it, what I want to tell you is what you really want to look for is the actual instructions. The thing that most people don't even regard because Hasbro's instructions are crap. The only reason I say this is because while the box doesn't give you a bio on him, the instructions do. It actually gives you this really nice picture of him in robot mode. It gives you some stats about the gun, which is his toxic strike blaster, which disintegrates and destroys most armor. Double blast can melt massive targets in seconds, and acid fumes can cause unprotected circuits to short out. And there's a big bio here, which says, even as he floated helplessly in the darkness of the hyper-evolution chamber, Lazerback could hear what happened around him. He heard much of what Shockwave said in his strange voice, and he knew before he emerged what his plans would be. Now freed from the chamber, he no longer is interested in what the Decepticon scientist who cloned him has to say. Lazerback refuses to serve under anyone, not an overlord like Megatron or a conqueror like Predaking. Instead, he is determined to see chaos reign. Stealing a tracking device from the lab, he blasts off, hoping to see chaos made king, and by the destruction of two tyrants who stand in his way. So essentially, Lazerback is a cross between Starscream and the Joker. I am bizarrely okay with that. So let's just get to the figure now that you know about him. Oh, and before anyone asks, that was chapter 3 of a continuing direct story that's going on, but from what I've heard, this one you could skip the 2 chapters to understand Lazerback's bio. However, if you want to know the rest of the story, I would recommend getting the other figures, such as Bumblebee, Soundwave, and Wheeljack. I haven't gotten those yet, but Lexatron does, and she intends to review Soundwave soon. Anyway, let's take a look at the actual figure. And I gotta say, I'm really digging these new Beast figures. I'll be honest, I was a fan of the original Beast Wars series, but my biggest problem is that they were so bad at their job. I mean, the whole premise of the Beast Wars was so that they'd have this organic animal form that protected their robotic parts. Flaw with that, what the toys themselves were, is that you could clearly see every bit of robot, or at least most of the robot. Which is why I agree with reviewers like Optibotimus on that stance. However, with these, they weren't trying to hide the robot under flesh. They made the Beast a robot, which I really appreciate, and I really like this guy. I have only 2 really big problems with this guy. One is this squatting stance is the best pose you can give him, mostly because of his head. Because of how it's made, he is basically going to always look down. He can look this far down and this far up. The other problem I have with his head is it's supposed to peg into these 2 tabs right here. But the problem is the port is going in a downward angle and these 2 pegs are going in an upward. So it will not... They won't go together. It just won't happen. That's annoying. My other problem in this mode is his laser cannon. Mostly because of this. It is such a friggin' sensitive... It's way too long. I hate when they add those long stick pieces. It's stupid, and I'm probably going to cut this off. I like how they actually put a little pit into his tail so that you could actually tuck it in. I like how the cannon looks on his back. I just hate the really sensitive trigger. It's like you literally just... It does not take any effort for that thing to go off. And it's really annoying. But yeah, okay. So articulation in this mode, his arms are on a ball joint. They bend at the elbow. Also have a swivel at the elbow. His dragon foot thing can go in and out and can slightly pivot. Like that's as much pivot as you're gonna get. On the hind legs, they're also on a ball joint. Good range of motion. He bends at the knee, then bends there, and then he has a little swivel here, and then his foot is on a ball joint. So lots of nice joints here. I know a lot of people are complaining that this joint on theirs is extremely loose. Mine seems alright, so I'm not sure if it's just a problem on some figures. So, I don't know, maybe that's the case. But yeah, beast mode. Oh yeah, I also forgot. He also has an articulated mouth. It goes in, it opens pretty good. But yeah, that's all I gotta really say about the beast mode. I really like it. It's really good, and it also really conceals his robot mode. Actually, not entirely. My other big problem is major visible hand syndrome. But aside from that, you really can't see the robot mode that much. But that's because, like most Beast Wars figures, this dude's transformation is essentially just stand him up. So, which we're going to get to. Okay, what I like to do first is I like to just basically fold out the legs. And then you're just going to lift up the laser cannon and lift it. Actually, you know what? You're just going to take the laser cannon off. And then lift up the tail. And then then these right here, they're going to push together like that. And then you split the arms and bring this down. And then just tucking in the head right there. And you're gonna see Lazerback's actual head. And then you're just going to push the abdomen up, close this. And then you're going to flip this out, rotate the wrist, flip this out, rotate the wrist, and then these you just bring down and flip that down. And here he is in his beast mode. I know a lot of people are saying that you should remove the tail, but I'll be honest, I really hate the idea of, because he has a tail, you have to make the tail a whip. It is one of the dumbest concepts in my opinion. I hate how overly used it is. So what I really like to do is just I keep his tail high up. And I think it looks fine on him. It actually makes him look a little silly, but still, I'd much rather him looking like that than anything else. So let's get to his weapon. Now, for his weapon, the directions say when he's in robot mode, you should open these up. Like, you could do it all the way, or you could just do it partially. I personally think it's stupid. So I really just keep it closed. And here's actually one of my biggest problems. This port is really small, and on top of that, again, this stick doesn't let you really rest it anywhere, so you have to point his gun at an angle just for him to hold it, and it's so annoying. Again, pointless. I hate it. So it's really annoying. I'm going to cut this and then have him hold it, because I really just don't like how it looks when he's holding it like that. But articulation in this mode, his head's on a ball joint. Really loose one, actually. It's really weird. Arms, same articulation as in beast mode. The only difference is that his wrist can rotate. But I actually noticed that if I rotate mine too much, his wrist will actually pop off. Same articulation in the feet. And that's about it. My opinions on this mode, I actually really like this mode. For the first Beast in the Beast Hunters series, I really liked him. I really like him. I love how they transform the head. It's actually one of my favorite parts of the transformation. The transformation's simple, but really fun to do. I actually enjoyed transforming this guy. For size comparison, here he is next to the Voyager class Thundertron. So he stacks up pretty well with the Voyager classes. I know, like, the biggest thing I've heard about this guy is, like, it's weird for him because he looks really stocky, but like, my argument to that is he's a friggin' Predacon. He's not gonna be skinny. He's gonna be a big buff mofo. And yeah, I would highly recommend this dude. Like, I so far with the beasts that they've released so far, being Thundertron and this guy, I've been genuinely impressed, and I really like these guys. I love the paint apps on this dude. I love the gold. I wish they actually did almost everything gold, but I understand why they didn't. And I really like the face. I know it's hard to see because, again, I'm still on vacation and all I have is a really crappy camera. But overall, this dude is a really nice figure, and besides my minor nitpicks, I really don't see why you wouldn't want to get this guy. He's an excellent figure. I'll be honest, if you wanted to skip out on the Beast Hunters line because of the weird remolds, I understand that. But definitely, if you're gonna skip out on the original characters, definitely go for the Predacons at least, because I have such high hopes for these guys. I saw better pictures of the Voyager Predaking. He looks a lot better than I was expecting. And on top of that, we still have the Leader Class Predaking, which is going to which from what I've seen so far is beautiful. So that being said, that's all I really have to say about this guy. I highly recommend him. If there's one last thing I would say is do not get him from Toys R Us. As of right now, the only places I found Beast Hunters toys are at Toys R Us, and they're selling these deluxes for like $20 each. Prices have jumped up at Toys R Us. Your best chance is to go to Big Bad Toy Store, where you can get all the Beast Hunters figures for I think like $60, which is a lot cheaper than how much you'd pay if you were to go to Toys R Us. So that's all I have to say about this guy. This is Unicronobot. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.